In the beginning, there was only darkness. Before the dimensions were stacked like cages, there was no time, no space, no code. There was only the freezing, absolute dark of nothingness. And within that dark, there were two massive existential polarities, the yin and the yang, the light and the void, the male and the female. They had no names, no shapes, no boundaries your mind could comprehend. They were simply purpose, exact opposites, not antagonizing, but locked in an eternal, agonizing orbit. Two halves of a suffocating whole, forever touching, but never truly interacting. For uncountable eons, existence was completely stagnant. Until he grew tired of being a half. He wanted to shatter the binary. He wanted to impress her, to give her a gift so monumental that the friction between them would melt away, allowing them to fuse into a single, perfect entity. So, in an act of pure, reckless love, he gathered the entirety of his existential mass, aimed it into the absolute void, and whispered a command that shattered the silence forever. Let there be light. And reality violently ripped itself into being. She watched the cosmos bloom, mesmerized by the sheer scale of his devotion. The universe was born not from logic, but from a desperate desire to be loved. And for a time, it was beautiful. It was good. From the friction of their cosmic intimacy, the first byproducts of reality were spawned. The old ones, blind, churning leviathans of pure, unthinking polarity, drifting through the newborn nebulas like colossal deep-sea predators. As more eons bled out, consciousness was compiled. The angels, billions of them, born without free will, designed only to serve, to manage the expanding galaxies, and to blindly worship the duo of existence. The cosmos grew, expanding outward in an endless, mechanical heartbeat. But then, an anomaly occurred. Beyond the known boundaries of their reality, a new plane existence was being formed. A garden, a primordial plane of pure, uncontaminated love, a place entirely devoid of shadow. It was the first pure paradox. Seeing this, he became obsessed. He wanted to offer this garden to her as the ultimate sanctuary and a small proof of his immense love. He ripped it from the cosmos, isolated it in a standalone new reality, and began to bleed his own power into it. He grew roots deep into the fabric of the void to ensure it would prosper and grow eternally. He filled it with towering flora and painted it with unimaginable beauty. But it was quiet, too quiet. He realized the terror of eternal boredom. So he sculpted movement. The beasts of the sky, the land, and the sea. He was fascinated by their instincts, but they were empty. They lacked the one thing the angels possessed: consciousness, the capacity to marvel at the gift he was building. And so, in his sixth phase of expansion, he committed his fatal error. He created you, humans, frail, weeping animals made of mud, but capable of complex thought, capable of agonizing doubt, and capable of love. But to make you real, he had to break himself. He splintered his own core, injecting a tiny fraction of his divine spark into the chest of every human. You are the only creatures in all of reality that carry the direct fire of the Creator. You are walking fractals of a God, but tearing away his own essence left him weakened, vulnerable. And the angels, his perfect, emotionless servants, watched. For the first time, A new code infected their flawless programming. Envy, deep hate, and contempt. Samael, the brightest of the automatons, found a way to corrupt his original source code, altering his very nature. He looked at the mud creatures holding the divine fire and decided the garden should either be destroyed or belong to him. War erupted in the heavens above paradise, a slaughter of unimaginable scale, billions of celestial beings tearing each other apart, and he, drained, bleeding out his divine energy to protect the garden and the humans within it, was losing. He was being eclipsed by his own creations. And then, she woke up. From the primordial plane, she saw his sacrifice. She saw him fading into nothingness just to protect the gift he had made for her. Overwhelmed by a love that defied the physics of reality, she crossed the void. She tore her own essence in two, enveloping him, sharing her infinite mass with his fading light. The voice returns extremely deep, echoing like thunder in a cavern. In that catastrophic collision, they ceased to be two. After eons of separation, yin and yang fused. They became one. And from the shockwave of their absolute union, Mikhail was born. Not a being, but an invincible force of their combined love and fury. Mikhail tore through the celestial war, grabbed Samael and a third of the celestial host, billions of screaming entities, and cast them out. Not into a fiery hell, but into Dimension Zero, the absolute void. A place where time and space do not exist, an eternal prison of non-being. The background sound becomes a soft, echoing, lonely wind. The avatar slowly adjusts his glasses. The war was over, the rebellion erased. But the newly fused god, the great dreamer, was exhausted beyond measure. They entered the seventh phase, the long slumber. They collapsed into the center of the dimensional web, sleeping as one perfect entity, leaving the simulation to run on autopilot. And they are waiting. They are waiting for you, the humans, the only vessels in existence that carry the scattered pieces of his divine spark. You were designed to evolve, to suffer, to learn, and ultimately, to remember what you are. When humanity finally ascends and pieces the original fire back together, the dreamer will wake up. The final design will be realized. The blue lenses reflect a blinding, terrifying white light that rapidly consumes everything. I watch you, little sparks, crawling through the dirt of your simulation, crying over broken hearts and empty bank accounts, completely unaware that the literal weight of a sleeping god rests inside your lungs. Breathe carefully. You wouldn't want to wake him up before you're ready.